Hi, Tanarax. Good morning. Hey, Darius. Hello, Bodan. Bridgewater. Good morning. Yeah, I'm okay this morning. I actually kind of in like decent mood. I slept well, despite all the things. I don't know. I don't think I want to write code today. I'm just kind of not. I'm not really in the mood to write code. I was thinking. I've been thinking about this like interview process I've been going through, and I kind of like, oh, I could do like make this into content. Like, can I still get a job? Let's try to do some interview prep. But literally every time I've seen somebody do like interview prep on Twitch, it just doesn't seem like compelling content. Plus, I just don't feel like writing code right now. Like, I'm just kind of like, hey, Kyle. Don't code then. You literally, this is the Janet show. Yeah, but it's really tough for my ego to like take that hit. So, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I'm not talking about questions like that. I'm talking about like this code signal stuff. What does Janet want to do today? Hi, Jess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do today, actually. I really want to just be like a dumb streamer from like the year 2018, but I can't time travel, so I don't think it's going to work. I almost slept in this morning. I should have slept in, honestly. I'm going to I think I'm going to take a break from freelancing after this contract is done and try to focus on content. I'm also going to try to focus on making the stream family friendly, or like not family friendly, but like brand safe, I guess. For God's sakes, I need to sleep some more. Hello, YouTube people. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm alright today. Well, I'll try not to swear. Gosh, I don't know. This is like I've been procrastinating on this like brand deal because I don't know if I can be brand safe, right? Like the one thing I absolutely love the most about making content is being able to say whatever I want to say, right? And having a platform for that. So I kind of hate the idea of like trying to censor some of my vocabulary, especially because I'm from the East Coast, right? You especially know this, Tanarax. I'm from the East Coast, so I'm basically like half sailor, right? If you know anything about sailors, they swear a lot. Like, well, I want to be unapologetically me, but being unapologetically me does not pay, apparently. So, but I need a break from freelancing, that's for sure. And if partnerships, brand sponsored brand deals help me do that, then that's fine. Maybe you be half pirate. Yeah, half something like that. Half sailor, half pirate, whatever. You can be elegantly mean. We have a word for that in the queer community, but I don't know if I can say it because it's not brand safe. We are so brand safe right now. Stream caught. I don't know. I don't like Yeah, usually I don't stream games. I find like my audience is software developers, and I think the like interview prep stuff actually might have been decent content, but I just don't have it into me. Like I can't. First of all, I find Go incredibly boring to write. Like, and that would be the language I would choose for sure to do like the code signal stuff. But holy smokes, Go is so boring. It's the same code every time. Every problem you solve with Go, the Go code looks the same. It's so conformist and so boring. I can't stand it. Like it's pretty bad. Um I'm like I just don't know if I can like solve whatever leak code crap. Like it's just not interesting content. Like interview prep, I think I would rank interview prep in terms of content almost as far down as just vibe coding, right? Like in the pecking order of like software and game dev content, at the like very bottom is like vibe coding, like slash goal, make no mistakes, like garbage content, right? And then above that is interview prep, like leak code questions. Like there's just endless people doing that stuff on Twitch, right? You know what's I think is really cool? Nobody's making an isometric game in C from scratch, right? Which is why I like that project, because it's challenging and it's like interesting because you don't usually see someone make a game with C, like old school, right? Closure boring, not like Closure where you've a seizure reading all the parentheses. Well, I like, yeah, this is I think Closure was interesting when I started streaming because nobody was doing it, right? And then like because I do it for my job and stream, I kind of burned out, and that's I had this like stream slump. I don't know what game devs do. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know, right? True. That's true. Gyros. So no tokens left. I don't use AI. I'll just let that sit with you for a second. Burned. Decided to join you on Twitch. You don't know yet, but you're my everyday code partner. Really? That's kind of cool. I like hearing that. Perhaps you should support the stream. If you've a Prime thingy you're not using or something. Every day? You watch every day? Burnout is real. I feel you. Dude, I am so burned out. Like, yeah, I need a break. I need a break from, like, I don't know, stuff. I don't know if I can afford to take a risk on content. I know that if I can be disciplined enough, I can keep selling sponsorships. And if I can't sell a Twitch sponsorship, I could probably sell an Instagram sponsorship because my Instagram gets like 1 million views per month. So anything with an M after it, that's just like cash flow, basically. And the funny thing is I sold this Twitch sponsorship before I ever had an Instagram account. Did I miss the sponsor you're talking about the other day? No. The sponsored stream is coming up. I'm like trying to work with the company, the brand, to come up with a project that we're both going to want to see on our mutual channels. Wanted to ask you for some tips on how to build an audience for this kind of content. I'm developing my own engine in C++. Yeah, That's a tough question because it depends on like your channel, right? It depends on the content that you like making. I would start there, figure out whatever content you like making, and then do it every day for like a few months. And I mean every day, right? I liked writing. I would write every day for a long time. I discovered that I like streaming. I streamed every day for 2 months straight. Every day I got up and I would stream on this Twitch channel every single day for 2 months. 8 weeks, 8 straight weeks. I didn't break. But I would say find the content that you like, because I made a mistake with like some long form content. Like, and there's like kind of like subcontext, right? There's like, this was years ago, right? The like 2 months of streaming, no days off. That was years ago, right? That was when I first started. But I got to like 1,000 followers on Twitch in like 2 months. Like Twitch reached out to me and they were like, how the heck, brand safe, how the heck are you doing this? Because that like, we know you're not view botting and this is insane. Like, how are you growing this fast? Like, I don't know. I just did it every day, right? Consistency helps. But I would also say, like, you need to find the type of content that works for you, the type of content you're going to be excited to work on. I personally made a huge mistake with my course, actually, because it's a very structured, long form video content. Like, it's rigidly structured, long form content. I think, like, I actually do kind of enjoy making some long form content as long as it's not rigidly structured. This was like a key learning for me. As long as it's not rigidly structured, like loosely structured, I can still have a lot of fun with it, like a stream, right? But if it's rigidly structured, like there's a script, you've got all this on screen, like scenes and stuff, people love making that kind of content, but I hate it. It's so like, I hate it. So you need to like really figure out what works for you, and then you got to do it. I look like AI. Maybe I am AI. I don't know. I mean, AI would not talk about a lot of things I've said in the past, but you know what I thought about making, actually? And this was a cool project idea. I thought there's kind of this idea that there's like, if if AI is interviewing people, why there should be like tech that clones a human and then does the interview with the AI interviewer, you know? Sorry, I think I need some water. Like your own AI avatar that does these like interviews for you. Like, if they don't want to like screen humans with humans, like, you know, we should fight back. And that's a very cyberpunk thing to do. Go full VTuber, but it's just me. It's an actual just like deep fake like me, you know? Thanks, blah blah blah. I also don't know this kind of tools for streaming inside OBS. I just use OBS. You can do fancy things. You can run your own private RTMP server that manages scenes on like headless OBS, but I don't do any of that. Like, if you're curious about streaming, if you're curious about any content creation, my suggestion would be figure out what works for you. Obviously, I just said that. And use the tools that you have, because one of the things that people do is like, especially devs, they do this all the time. They're like, oh, I'm going to start streaming. So they buy like a $1,500 camera and a $400 microphone. And then they're like, oh, I hate this. where this isn't for me, and they just wasted like $2,000. So definitely don't do that. Stream with what you have. When I first started this stream, I did have the microphone already for my course because I already kind of made that mistake. But I literally, my camera for the stream was just my iPhone on a tripod on my desk. It's an awful camera. It looks like my face is in a fishbowl lens. And I'm sure you can find some of that content somewhere, like in the clips, but yeah, stream with what you have. You gotta be scrappy. Sure, MV7, yeah. Hey Desiree, what's up? Newest author on the block, her first book, How Not to Be Brand Safe. I really want to write a book on freelancing, actually. Like, really want to write a book on freelancing. The only problem is nobody reads anymore. I really like hearing you talk about this stuff. It always seems to energize you. Oh, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, some days I just feel like maybe yapping is better. Should I have like a PO box or a wish list or something? Is that too like e-girl? Some weird noise outside. Reading and journaling making comeback recently? It has, yes, actually. I got very interested in Clojure. Kind of weird how it's all recursion, right? Am I right? Well, it's weird if you come from like procedural languages or object-oriented languages, for sure. When I learned functional programming like a billion years ago, I got confused. I had to like learn Haskell to learn FP, so you were considering putting fillers on Throne yesterday? I'm still considering that. The problem is you have to go to a clinic to do the filler, so. Is what brand safe? Writing a book? Hi, Nora. Put a P.O. box unless you're willing to do the extra work, but a wish list on Amazon can be sent to you more safely. Well, this is what I was thinking. I was like a wish list is like basically pre-screened, but it removes the element of surprise, right? I could have a wish list, but like okay, so I'll admit, I was watching a streamer's content last night of them just like doing their unboxing stream of people that sent stuff to their PO box, right? And this used to be like quite a big thing on Twitch. Like a lot of streamers used to do this. But now you don't really see it because it's because there's no like element of surprise, right? With a wish list or something pre-screened. It's everything that there might be a little surprise, right? But the real like zest of the content, I think, is like, what the heck? Is it because of trackers? Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I didn't think about trackers, yeah. Plan to head out into the wild coming? You mean like an IRL stream? This is what I should put on the wish list. Wish list is ghost hunting equipment and camera equipment. Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about the tracker stuff. But like I also have an iPhone, so if I pick up the package, oops. Did I leak anything? I don't think I leaked anything. Except maybe my provider. Leaked. I would do that too. Frig. Time zone? Did you see the provider? Someone answer it honestly. It's really important. There's one benefit to having like, so I have like a 1080p camera feed and like it's stretched to a 4K canvas. So it kind of distorts some of the smaller like fine print stuff. Hang on, I'll find out pretty quickly. But yeah, I can use my iPhone to see if any of the packages have a tracker, right? Cool fingernail. Oh, you like my nails? They're pretty hot. Nora, did I say hi to you? Someone was sending Jack in the Box. Yeah, I guess like W OPSEC. I'm trying to go back and watch the stream, but it looks like Safari's about to crash. So amazing. I love it like ever since like AI coding became norm, like the average piece of software just doesn't work. It's like, yeah, fuck software. Damn it, I did it. I swore. I was doing pretty good. How far into the stream? 20 minutes with no swearing. Dude, why can I not watch my own stream? If I like click back in the VOD, it just crashes the browser tab. Like, what the heck, man? Like, why doesn't the average piece of software like work anymore? Thanks, Bert. Cool nails. Trying to get to the point where I showed my phone like an idiot. Maybe it's brand safe, right? I need to build that swear button. That's what I need to do. I'll just put a big black label that says brand safe over my face. I can't even find it because I spend so much time just refreshing the page. Because, you know, the average piece of software just doesn't work anymore. Can somebody find the timestamp with the phone? Like, was it actually that long ago? Around 20 minutes? Thank you. Okay, let's make this. Okay. Stretch it out here. I don't think so. I don't think I leaked it. No. I think somebody could like AI like upscale it maybe, but it's just a white blur, so that's fine. Alright, okay. Whew. My phone plan isn't gonna get canceled today. What is that IDE you're using? It's just Emacs. Yes, thank you, Nora. People calling themselves engineers without applying engineering principles is not a good idea. At some point, the tech industry will come up with a new name for prompting LLMs. LLM like manager or babysitter or something. They'll call it something, and they'll call it something like really like silly too. Like the new thing right now is forward deployed engineer. Slobotect. Would I be a good boss? I don't know. I might have to ask my only actual sort of employee that question. Prompt engineer. Yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't even disparage people that just prompt all day. Personally, I don't find it to be particularly engaging. Um if anything, it's basically the TikTokification of software development, right? Hi from Ecuador. Hello to Ecuador. Only smart autocomplete, the rest is just a mess. I don't even like smart autocomplete. If you turn that off, you're gonna find yourself pausing like a trained rat in a maze. Well, technically, I'm my editor's client, not her. Not her boss. Although sometimes it might certainly seem like I'm her boss. Why don't I use AI? Because I don't want to. Simple as that. May you tell a nerdy programming term? What is a good way to get a job nowadays? Yeah, this is something I'm struggling with. I don't even know. I'm going through the interview process. The interview process at a company. But yeah, I have no idea. Why don't I want to use AI? Because it's just not engaging. Get a job through connections. Yeah, I figured like, you know, I don't know at what point does like having a big enough audience like actually influence getting a job or hinder it? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Bridgemind is something. He has a lot of YouTube viewers. But mostly he just kind of acts silly on stream while AI is generating stuff. Push-ups and like just obnoxious stuff, right? I mean, I guess it works for him. But like, he's literally like, he's doing this thing that I don't like, which is it's called the shovel business, right? Basically, he's got all this content on vibe coding, and he's selling courses and vibe coding tools to people so that they can become vibe coders and make money like him. Right? It's like a classic like indie hacker shovel business. Well, I don't want to call it pyramid scheme. I mean, it's like like indie hacking has always been like that, so ghost busting. Yeah, become a ghost hunter. Yeah, like it's kind of a lot of this like vibe coding stuff is starting to resemble like the get rich quick schemes of the past, right? That's my thoughts on it. I don't epinephrine. I don't need to detect your vibe coding. I'm not beholden to you. Like I don't go vibe code if you want. Actually, this morning I was thinking maybe I should stop streaming on YouTube. I've noticed the YouTube chat has become a lot more hostile lately, especially like yesterday. Holy, people need hobbies, man. Like, what makes you productive? Maybe it's the skill set I've developed over the last 10 years. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, yeah, this is like I'm also trying to get out of the software dev industry, right? I don't even like want to be a professional developer anymore for this exact reason. I just don't want to. I think people are starting to talk to streamers like agents, very transactional. Yeah, maybe. What's my workout routine like? It's been bad lately, actually. I used to be like earlier in the summer, I was like doing it pretty consistently. Actually, I was in such a bad mood yesterday. Obviously, because I ended the stream early, but I was in a pretty bad mood yesterday. And so I did what I usually do when I'm in a bad mood like that. I went to the gym to exercise, and some bozo had put the seat on the exercise bike to the max height, like it was taller than me, and tightened the thing so tight I could not like to adjust it, like the knob. You're supposed to like loosen it and then pull. I could not turn it. It was so tight. I had to call building maintenance. But I was in such a bad mood that like I actually just started to cry in the gym and I had to leave because I couldn't deal with it. There were other people in there. I had to go. But like, and then I called maintenance. But I'm like, what kind of brand unsafe word do you have to be to do something like that? And it was definitely on purpose because the seat was so high, you'd have to be like 8 feet tall to actually pedal on the bike at that height, right? Be heartbroken, best pre workout. Well, I wasn't heartbroken. I was just like in a bad mood and tired. And I just wanted to try and salvage the rest of the day. So that's usually what I do. Workout. Hey, Crash King. Tight as in, oh, no, not cool. Tight as in like a lot of tension on the like screw part, like twist knob. How long have I been working in programming? I've been a professional software developer for 10 years now. I'm not a game dev though, just like a normal professional dev. Just a software developer. What else do I do when I feel bad? Go outside. I went for a walk yesterday with Kai. A long walk. I'm not tall, I'm like average height. Kinda considering how gym bike seats always slide down, I kinda get it. Yeah, like okay, so I usually bike at 8. It has numbers, right? Most of the time when I go in there, it's like 5 or 6. I usually bike at 8. Somebody had put it to like 13. I'm not even kidding. It was like way up. Like I would have to look up at the seat. Like somebody definitely did it on purpose. Could I stand up? No, I'm gonna pass. Although I'll probably have to stand up here. Actually, I need to get breakfast, so maybe I should go microwave that egg. Morning Tim's walks. Man, I haven't had like a breakfast sandwich from Tim's in a while. Wheel the chair out of spite. Just there's too much crap in the hallway. Can I put 3 fingers in front of my face? Why? Why is yesterday YouTube chat was very hostile. Now today YouTube chat is very weird. Just 3 fingers? With the AI changing software development so fast, what do you think software engineers' role will look like in the next few years? Um, it'll look the same as before AI. I think you should stop streaming on YouTube or maybe not read YouTube chat. I think you're right. Twitch chat, way more chill. All right, Epinephrine, what do you want to ask me? I know what you're going to ask. Usually people preface this particular question. Time yourself, chat. Look, what's probably going to happen is, what maybe will happen is people will do all this vibe coding stuff because it's trendy, right? And then the trend will die off, or the bubble will pop, or whatever. And then some influential company will be like, oh, actually, we stopped using AI because. And then they produce their own like version of the Mythical Man Month, but for AI. And then, yeah, that's it. And then maybe it'll just live on as like fancy autocomplete. Just say yes or no. You didn't even ask the question though. Okay. Love the shine of the hair. Thank you. I do need to make an egg though, so I'm wrecky. Look, if AI is gonna do all the things that people say it's gonna do, there won't be a software dev career anymore. If it's true. Have I seen Odin? Yeah, I've looked at it a little bit. I thought about messing with Odin. Can they focus on AI doing the dishes first? No, because it's low paid labor, right? It's much lower paid compared to like software development. So basically any good job in like the developed world will be automated in some way. I mean, IBM has been trying to replace doctors with Watson for like decades at this point, right? Like, is that a question, epinephrine? All right, guys, I really got to eat something. I'm just gonna microwave an egg, okay? Behave yourselves. Oh, I think I've been microwaving eggs too much because all the clean bowls in the dishwasher, because I just ran the dishwasher, have egg like caked on them. She's gone. I kind of miss her. Yeah, I kind of grow on you, don't I? I have grow on you energy. You pre-wash your dishes, post-wash them too, I guess. I know, it's so frustrating. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Just have a post-nasal drip. Okay, eggs ready. Why is my hand wet? What the hell? Dude. I like, what the fuck? My hand was just dry, and then suddenly it was wet. Slater, I see you on YouTube. Oh. Oh. Runway model? Yeah, right. I'd have to get a lot of cosmetic work done before I do that. Oh my god, those pills were like half dissolved when they went down. My throat is actually burning at the moment. You just need a brand to approach you? No brand's gonna approach me. I'm not that pretty. Epinephrine, I thought you were gonna ask me a question. But if you keep like shilling for AI, like I think you would best be served at a different live stream. I see your messages. You keep retracting them. God, I need some more water. Oh, throat is like burning from that pill. Okay, I'm gonna go take this. I'll be right back. What? I've been missing for like 30 seconds. I just went to go take my inhaler. Oh, I can't ask. I got my answer. Okay. Three minutes, 30 seconds. You were timing me? Hot sauce and caffeine. Yes. But we all missed you. Okay. That's nice. Recommend Clojure Go as better foundation for backend data munching library. Um, yeah, I've never done any like extensive data processing. I don't think you have to worry about the JVM being slow. That's not a real fear, I don't think. Are you sweet or just do, yeah, like a professional developer, yes. I should have brushed my hair. See what as the only option? Oh, oh, chat room. Caught all the sardines I could eat. Yeah, maybe I should. Well, if you're responding to Jordan, then you should probably at him in your messages. Sure, I mean, startup times take a few seconds, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not like performance critical or anything, I don't think. It's pretty mature tech, so. And Clojure is very JVM like optimized, right? The Clojure compiler actually will generate Java bytecode directly in some cases. And not like generate just Java classes. Like it will generate bytecode. And Epinephrine, I don't know, like, why so people are so like hostile and antagonistic to the idea that somebody doesn't want to use AI. Like, why? Shouldn't be surprised. There's so much groupthink in the development industry. Like, it's just crazy. Hype and groupthink and all this stuff, right? They want to be used so bad. Well, that's one way to look at it. Get a reaction from you. I will not react. I'm chill. We're brand safe today. Brand safe, yo. Brand safe. Except for the moment when we were not. Exactly. Yeah. There was a brief moment I slipped up. Yeah, you're not wrong, Slater. I mean, I've heard all kinds of ridiculous shit stuff. Dang it, I just did it. I just swore. I've heard all kinds of ridiculous stuff from people. I mean, like people freak out. Even if you're like, I don't, even if I'm like, I use, like I just don't want to use AI. Like it like boggles some people's minds. Like it's like an affront to their like their liberties or something. Like it really like it just breaks people. having fun. Don't get angry with me. I don't know. It seems like you're trying to antagonize me, epinephrine. So swear jar stream today. What would a stream swear jar even look like? Sunshine. Swear jar is a tip jar? Yeah, but like who puts money in the swear jar? It doesn't really make sense for me to put money in the swear jar. This is the topic of today's chit chat. It's whatever. It's a relatively unstructured stream today. I don't really feel like writing code, so money into a jar. Yeah, but I'm the streamer. You guys are supposed to put money in the tip jar. We're not the people swearing. True. Monitors for words and counts them. Gifted sub swear jar can net you a ton of subs. Well, people don't buy subs anyways, so. I'm watching you for like a month. I really like your lives and work. Good luck. Thanks, Luca. Start playing COD. I don't have a computer that can run like COD or whatever. What do we know? Should we get together and start talking about what we should build with this tech? I mean, you could like get together and strike. That's an idea. The problem with like software development is it's very corporatist, right? It's very conformist, very corporatist. So the idea of like a union and a strike among software developers is kind of like unheard of, right? But this is exactly what the Film Writers Guild did. They actually they went on strike to combat the use of AI in film and television. Am I married? No. The union nearly shut down my company of 2K people a year for one extra vacation day. Yeah. I'm just saying, software developers had it like so good for so long that the idea of striking was just out of the thing. For higher than average pay, and that's it. Yeah. No, I don't want to do a quiz or anything like that. Good chunk of SWE would just scab their colleagues. Oh, definitely. I saw Nora. Thank you for moderating. Oh. Last time I met a person who actually likes making computers beep bop was a few months ago, and most I know simply hate this job. Yeah, I think it's a pretty big problem actually. Most people hate being software developers. They hate programming, and so they're like more than happy to automate it, right? I'm like an outlier because I like programming, so. And it kind of makes sense because especially like web development can be so frustrating sometimes. Web development can be like stupidly frustrating sometimes, right? Stupid API endpoints for work. Yeah, and that's another problem is like front end is like in the browser and all that stuff that's artificially difficult, right? The original like document object model is simple and it works. But we've made it like stupidly complicated. And then the back end stuff is like standardized CRUD blah blah blah, right? Most of that stuff could be generated anyways before LLMs, right? So I enjoyed that freelancing video you did. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah. Glad people like the freelancing video. I kind of want to expand on it. I'd like to do more. Small book for SWE as a freelancer. Yes, I want to do exactly that, actually. I've wanted to write a book on freelancing for a while. I just don't know how to market it to people. And now everybody's going to say it's slop. I'm like, great. Hmm. I do have a platform, but like selling a product is still, it's not easy, right? Take us on a field trip. Where would you take us? I don't know. Back to school for clinical psychology. I don't know if I could do that. I just want to be a Twitch streamer and an e-girl. Although I think I'm probably too old for that, really, at this point. If I started streaming like 8 years ago, maybe. Well, that's just it, right, Bowden? People hate being sold to. So the trick is to like sell to somebody without thinking they're being sold to. You look 27 max. Thank you, but these dark circles under my eyes disagree with you. Fake gothy girl? I mean, yeah, I could dye my hair black. Or whatever. Or wear a black wig, I guess. Nah, there's demand. Selling without selling is easy, simply be honest. I mean, sometimes you need to do things to close a sale. I won't lie about that. I am my early 30s. We'll just say that. Love the persona drafting going on. Thank you, Jer from Monstrum Games. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to like do. I don't know how to make content that sells yet, I guess. All about image. Easy. Easy. Yeah, I am pretty nerdy. Mm. I think I'm suffering from a lot of anxiety right now because I have a lot of anxiety around like career and stuff. Like I was a wreck yesterday, 100%. I was a wreck. Like especially after not being able to do the exercise cycle yesterday. Hey Lotta. Ugh. Personally, I hate audiobooks. Ooh, I have bags under my eyes. Yeah. Like there's so many things I want to do, but I have like no help. Like none. I've like I don't have like people I can like fall back on, you know? It's not like I can just go like live with my parents or something or whatever, right? So like it's paying my bills is pretty important. And I don't live an extravagant life. I mean, some people might argue living in Toronto is pretty extravagant, but like I live downtown in a studio apartment. I don't own a car. Like I don't drive, I don't own a car. Live in a studio apartment. Pretty good, surely you can stream. I mean, yeah, I stream like every day. The what I'm talking about is like the money, right? I don't make nearly as much money from content. In fact, one could argue I don't really make any money from content since most of the actual like content revenue just goes towards paying my editor. So, like the only way I can see how to make cash flow is with like brand partnerships or whatever. No, Darius, I believe in paying people for their work, so I would never do that. Nor would I ever work for exposure. Although technically that's what I've been doing on Twitch for the past 2 years, but we'll just ignore that. Do I have any debt? Yeah, oh heck yeah. I've got a student loan. I grew up like relatively poor and went to university, so yeah, I've got literally have like I think I started with like $65,000 in debt. I'm not even kidding. And now I'm like down to like 35. What I go to school for? Computer science. Yep. And then I dropped out to work in the industry. What do you mean works in Canada? They are not satisfying. And the only reason my student loan debt has gone down as much as it has is because during COVID, the government eliminated student loan interest on government student loans. They just got rid of the interest. And that pilot worked so well because people stopped defaulting on their loans that they actually just made it permanent. They're like, okay, no more interest on student loans. And that's the only reason I've been actually able to pay down this debt over time. That's the only reason. The only reason I've been able to pay off this student loan debt. It's because there just hasn't been any interest. Oh, job salaries for developers not good? I mean, they're okay. There's a few places around here that pay pretty well. But like I said, I don't want to be a full-time developer. I never want to be a full-time developer, which is why I'm freelance in the first place, right? I was a full-time developer for years and I was miserable. I hated it. Freelancing arguably was like a lot better, but now lately I don't even think I want to be a professional software developer whatsoever. You seriously dropped out? Yes. Nothing in life has meaning but meaning we give it. Yeah, and there's never a right time for anything. What was the issue with full-time developer? I just don't like being a full-time employee. One might say that I am unemployable. I had a taste of freedom and now I'm unemployable. There have been times in the past where I went through the interview process at full like companies and I was like, I don't think I really want a full-time job. Like, if you like having a full-time job, that's fine. Like, that's amazing. Go have a full-time job. I'm happy for you. But I'm not a full-time job person. I have freedom. You can't pay me enough to let go of it. Well, I make like decent money. I mean, like, hang on. The humidity must be rising in here again. Let me go check. I swear to God, like every time they put, I think like since they put the flooring in, like this place has just been like a cellar. It's bad. I was so like cranky about it yesterday. I was thinking about moving again. I don't have the money to move. But like this humidity is kind of ridiculous. But it's also been a really humid summer. Like I think this has been one of the most humid summers in Toronto by far. Like just every day. It's like 70, 80% humidity. Even right now, 74% humidity. Like, hello, coffee pot. Oh yeah, freedom. Yeah. I made like 100 and something K last year from freelancing and all my various side hustles. So, you know, I don't buy a dehumidifier. I just turned it on. I just turned one on. It's right there. Can you see? Before tax, yeah. Yeah, jeez, actually, I didn't realize because usually I make like 100K-ish, right? But this time I made like quite a bit more than that. So I actually had to pay like 40,000. You guys know this. I had to pay like 40 grand in taxes. It was like an additional 10 grand in taxes I was not anticipating. Cause I was like, yeah, between like I think like just content alone, I made like 10 grand from. Do I miss out on the extra money you might get at a job? Oh no, like I know damn well that I could make twice as much money working a full-time job, but I can also make twice as much money if I quit content and got a second freelancing client, right? Um Maybe even more cuz I can like outsource and stuff if I really wanted to do all that crazy stuff. Um but it's just the little things that like make me. Do you get to use list much in your every freelancing gig? I only do closure in my freelancing gigs, actually. Um, put on a coat, you're gonna get sick. It's not cold in here. What is going on with the YouTube chat now? What was I talking about? But yeah, like I always like basically through all my like the first 5 years of my like professional dev career, I was like I would love to work less if it meant I could just survive and then I could work on like whatever other stuff that I want to work on, right? I always wanted that. I thought about trying to negotiate part-time gigs with people, but eventually I realized that like because I wanted to be an indie hacker really badly for a long time, I realized like every successful, well, almost every successful indie hacker started out as a freelancer, a freelance software developer. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to do that then. I actually got a windfall, probably the only windfall I got in my entire life, because the company I worked at the time, I was aggressively saving money, and they were like, we messed up the equity situation for the early employees, and I was the first employee. Right? They're like, we messed up actually, so we're gonna give you a big bonus to buy your stock options. Because your strike price is like artificially higher than it should be. And then I was like, you can't really compel me to purchase these stock options. Like, this is a bonus and I have to pay tax on this bonus. Like, no, like you could take the bonus and leave if you want. And so that's what I did. I quit. I lined up my first contract gig and I quit. But it wasn't like all peach and cake, right? It was like I had to like kept the shares. No. I didn't buy the shares. I jumped ship. That gave me like quite a bit of savings to go start freelancing, and then that's what I did. But I got fired from my first freelancing gig. Like, it wasn't easy. It was 6 months of like being scared, but also not scared because I was like, I can just go get a job, right? I guess that's kind of where the anxiety comes from now. Like, I made a mistake in 2023 and I fired a client, and then everybody started getting laid off. Like, industry kind of just like went in the toilet. And so I couldn't get a job at all. I just burned through all my savings in that year. I was unemployed for like 10 months. Like most of 2023, I was just not working. I did a lot of stuff in the meantime, a lot of cool stuff, but I also like basically burned out my savings. I was on my last month of money. And then I was faced with a choice. I was like, okay, I landed a client. I was like, I could work with this client or I could take this full-time job. And I was like, I gave up sweat equity to try and build my own thing. And if I go back to being a full-time employee, will have been for nothing, right? All that will have been for nothing, because it's much easier to be self-employed if you're already self-employed. That's one of the hard lessons I learned over all this crap. It's way harder to be self-employed. It's way easier to be self-employed if you're already self-employed. If you're a full-time employee, trying to become self-employed is miserable, right? I'm miserable right now. And I don't even work that much on my client work, right? Because I'm trying to get this like new thing off the ground. But I can dedicate a lot of time to content, producing content, doing brand deals, all this stuff. But if I was someone like, if I was in Dylan's position, I don't know how I could do it. Like the guy in this, like the Cloudflare, is it Cloudflare or Vercel? No, it's the Vercel domains guy in the software dev category. I don't know how I couldn't do that. I could not do that. There's no way I could stream and do a full-time job. I just can't, right? So that's the real reason I'm like freelance, because I can survive working part-time and then I can pursue like all this other stuff that I want to do. That was a lot. That was like my whole life for the past like 5 years, basically. But yes, I kept in 2023, the end of 2023, start of 2024. Right before I started streaming, actually, I got that client. I closed the client and I went with that. Continuing, that was probably the biggest risk I've ever taken in my entire life, because I had no money. The contract could have like fell out from under me, right? But I just knew that like if I went back to being a full-time employee, and I was seriously considering it. I've been interviewing with people, I was networking, you know, like how do you usually find new clients? Advice for someone trying to get unstuck. I'm trying to get unstuck myself, honestly. This is another anxiety, another challenge I'm facing. Like the industry is just like different now, right? The industry is just different now. Where you're like, you know, even me going through this interview process for largely just the experience of it for like content at this big company, like I've never had to talk to a machine before. It's weird. So I don't know what finding free. It's probably not any different, honestly. I'm just like making shit up. Damn it, I swore again. Making stuff up. Employee to contract with 2 newborns. It was scary. Yeah, that would be scary. My like usual go-to is to just reach out and talk to people. Your network. Some people like, I don't know, like some people also want you to just like babysit a clanker all day. Right. Giving up cursing. I'm trying to be brand safe because I have a sponsored segment coming up, my first brand deal. Undertone of your voice is showing anxiety. No, that's just my post-nasal drip choking me. If I was anxious, I would be like yesterday, actually. Today I'm relatively calm. Yesterday I was like a nervous wreck. What was it like working my very first client? Tough. So I got a gig with a consulting company. And they did like Python, Django. This was before I realized I should be leaning into my strengths, right? When people in business say you should like lean into your unfair advantages, that's kind of what they're talking about, sort of. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I wrote Python before, like Django. I can make a website with Django. That's easy. At the time, they were doing some like crazy custom backend stuff in Django for Clubhouse. And, you know, they're like, oh yeah, if you can do this, it'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm like, great, cool. Got the gig, signed the contract. And then they were Django like experts. Like they were modifying, basically they were writing custom admin plugins for Clubhouse for moderation tools, right? Moderation tools. And I couldn't keep up because they were like a task in the ticket mill. And I was an hourly employee. Mistake number one. Number two. I was an hourly employee at the time. So I was just like chewing through the ticket mill, not hourly employee, hourly contractor, right? Then we're like, okay, we're just going to give you front end stuff to work on. Like JavaScript or whatever. God, my mouth is dry. But yeah, like, and I was still taking like a day or they were like, okay, you should only be taking a day or two on a task. And I was. And they were like, it was still not fast enough for them. So then, like, after 2 weeks, they're like, yeah, so how are you feeling with all the things so far? And I'm like, yeah, no, not good. I don't know if I'm doing like either of our like reputations any kind of like service here. I feel like I'm a disservice. And so we like mutually agreed to like part ways, but basically I was like soft fired. Drinking vodka this early, it's water. No, ASMR is not the kind of content I want to create. I don't even, why was I talking about that first gig? Oh, well, that was my first client, right? So then I was like, well, great, back to the drawing board. But then I got lucky a couple weeks later. Somebody reached out to me and they're like, hey, we're hiring for this closure role. And I was like, I looked at my bank account and they were offering me a full-time role. I looked at my bank account and I was like, I'm only really interested in contract roles right now. And they got back to me and were like, actually, that works for us very well because a client of ours has contracted us to build a feature in our product and we would like to subcontract it to somebody. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. I gave them a fixed rate bid and I nailed it. I seriously nailed it. I think I made like 20 grand in like 6 weeks. Like I crushed this gig and I took a trip at the same time. I flew to the East Coast to visit family and friends. And I was working out of a co-working center there, taking meetings on this client, like right away, just like exercising the freedom from freelancing. And yeah, that gig was just like a home run in every way. And I was like, this is what I should be doing. This is what I should be doing. And that's pretty much what I've been doing since when it comes to freelancing. And I like, they were like, what's your hourly rate? And I just said to them, I was like, how do you guys feel about like a fixed rate thing, And they're like, actually, that works for us because the client that's contracting us, they're they only want to pay a fixed amount for this feature, so that's perfect. And that's kind of where I started to put it together. I'm like, oh, like if a company has a budget because sales sold it to somebody for pre-sold it for so much money, right? And I can build it within that budget, that's very attractive for companies, right? So I kind of started to like learn these and then I started to like learn more about like the sales process and like leaning into this kind of stuff. So I don't know, but it's really hard to find remote jobs. That too, like that's another thing is being freelance, it's kind of expected that I'm going to be remote. People don't really expect me to be in their office. My current client, they have company like all hands where they fly people to their like hub city. Sorry, I'm getting like really dry because I keep talking so much. But yeah, they have like all hands and they don't invite me, which is awesome because I hate going to those things. 2 to 3 years of experience on entry level. Yeah, but the industry has always been like that. If you want to break into the industry, go make a bunch of friends in the industry. That's literally what I did when I dropped out. It sounds harder than it is, believe me, right? But like the thing about sales and especially interviewing, the people only buy like 4 things. Just doing QA kind of stream can be considered. Right? People buy time, money, brand unsafe, and reputation. I guess I should say, what was my usual line? Time, money, reputation, and brand unsafe. Those people buy those 4 things, right? Ideally, you're selling the first 3. And yeah, all things being equal in terms of like competition, people always buy from their friends instead. So the best thing you can do is just go out and make a bunch of friends, right? Salespeople usually if you've ever talked to a sales development rep or whatever, very extroverted people, very outgoing, tons of friends, huge network. Often when people hire a salesperson, they're hiring their network, not the person. They're hiring their network. Brand unsafe things in general. Well, it's like sex. Is the word sex brand unsafe? I'm not sure. It might be. I think if we're mature about it, we can talk about it. But yeah, those are the 4 things that people buy, right? So you're probably right. I probably am drying out from the dehumidifier. But also clearing my throat less. So which brand of dehumidifier? I think it's like a Frigidaire. Good clip right there. Here, I'll set a marker. Make friends. That's the marker. Oh yeah, it depends on the brand for sure. I'm trying to keep it like PG at best. Brand safe. PG. I'm not a very brand safe person. I just yap. Yap, yap, and yap. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I'm not those streamers, right? I don't have a huge audience. Like, if you have a big enough audience, you can do and say anything. That's why I like to call it an FU audience. It's kind of like FU money. Or I like the more appropriately named sunset money instead of FU money. Rob Walling calls it sunset money because you can just ride off into the sunset, right, without a care in the world. You got 123 viewers on Twitch right now. Yeah, and that's pretty good. And most people, actually, most streamers in my position can make a living from that. I cannot. You subscribe. But like most of the Twitch streamers that can, they have sunset audience, if you want to say that. They can just like, yeah, they can do whatever they want because their reach is so potent that it doesn't matter. It's still worth the advertising risk to the company. Right? But for me, I have this like small niche audience of professional developers, but I can sell a brand deal for like thousands of dollars because there's a lot of money in tech, right? Whereas most sponsorships on Twitch are worth like hundreds of dollars, maybe more if people sign up. But yeah, I can sell a different kind of deal because I have this niche tech audience. Maybe if I can stop swearing. I've only swore like 3 times this stream. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing good. Red Bull sponsors extreme sports, largely, not streamers. Why did I drop out? Because I was offered a job. That's why. The AI market. Yeah. I never said I was too good for Red Bull. But usually like a consumer, like when it comes to consumer stuff, right? Usually the payout isn't worth the hassle of the branding. Like HelloFresh is a perfect example of this, right? HelloFresh, I think like the base pay for HelloFresh is like $70 or something. And then you get money for every sign up. But selling a product is hard. This is why I actually haven't really taken on any sponsorship. People have approached me for sure. I get emails to my Twitch all the time. But the numbers don't make sense to me. As somebody who understands click-throughs and like internet conversion rates and stuff, the numbers don't make sense to me for something like HelloFresh. This is the only example I can use. It's like the closest like food analogy, right? Because like you can kind of assume that click-through rates are going to be like 2%, maybe 5% because you guys like me, right? And then actually like converting is also like 2%. So it's like 0.04%. Or not 0.04%, but it's like a percentage of a percentage. The numbers don't really make sense. And then you kind of just like burn your audience for like $70. Why would I do that when I can just like build my audience and then I can sell, if I want to sell something, I can like either partner with a brand that makes sense for developers, which I think I have a partnership coming up, right? And that partner is going to be very generous. They're going to give anybody that uses my link $50 in credit. Like, that's crazy generous, right? And that's the kind of deal that I'm looking for my audience, right? I don't want to sell like crappy HelloFresh or Red Bull or whatever, cuz the numbers just won't make sense for me. Alleged Hello, good afternoon, fellow alleged human. Yes, I'm doing well, right? Or if I wanted to sell something like my own game or my own like book or whatever it might be, like the numbers need to make sense. Or like even if the numbers don't make sense, if the numbers don't make sense, people still get burned out on being sold to, right? So the numbers need to make sense, and I need to feel comfortable that like the audience isn't gonna burn out. No, you're gonna it'll be fine, Bodan. I personally deploy my projects to this company, so or I have in the past. Uh, come on, cell phone. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, brand deals, right? So yeah, there's only a few brand deals that I would take for sure. People have been like, "Will you play my game? Will you do this charity stream for money?" The numbers just don't make sense, right? I don't understand how a job makes you drop out. Well, if you are in a lot of student debt and you are sick of school because you've been going to school for like 5 or 6 years at that point, and somebody comes along and offers you more money than you've ever seen before, more money than even your parents make, more money than like anybody you know makes. Yeah, I think you might consider dropping it for some money, and then like everybody's having all this trouble breaking into the industry. Even 10 years ago, people would still have trouble breaking into the industry, right? That's why co-ops and internships are a thing. And then here what this person was, they're like, you know, people here veg for you. That's fine. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. And I think it was a good move because it was that experience from that first job and all that shipping to production. Because back then, like some places like development life cycles back then were like 16 months long, right? There wasn't a lot of people actually shipping to production. We shipped a lot to production. I shipped a lot in closure, and it was that experience that qualified me for a position in Toronto, a position where they actually gave me a relocation like expense to move to Toronto, and I always wanted to live in Toronto, so it's kind of like, yeah, like 100%. I don't regret dropping out, not even a little bit. I don't regret dropping out. At some point, it kind of feels sometimes school just feels like it has like it's more about like the drudgery, right? Always in Canada, yes, yeah. So I went to school on the East Coast, and then yeah, I dropped out, worked a job. It was awesome. And then things that place started to change, so I started looking for a new job, and then yeah, I got a job in Toronto. They relocated me, and then yeah, I've had a pretty good career ever since. 10 out of 10. Would drop out again. Was it a full-time job? Couldn't you do both? Okay, so before I dropped out the final time, I had actually dropped out for a year before, and then like I was serious about going back to school. So, but I was working full time at a call center, right? And I started taking courses part time at like a sister university where I could transfer my credits when I actually did go back full time to school. I will tell you, and this is the same reason why I think it's easier to be self-employed if you're already self-employed, is because working a job where you don't have control over your schedule, even if it's a 9 to 5, working a job full time and doing something else on the side is just brutal. It's just brutal. It's hard. It is hard, man. Like, it's just not, like, people just think it's so easy. Like, oh yeah, I work full time, go to school. Try it. I did it. It will make you miserable. It will, like, I was so miserable. Like, I'm not even kidding. I had class on Tuesday and Thursday, and so the call center I worked for, they're like, okay, well, we won't give you like work on Tuesday and Thursday, which means I had no weekend. I had no time off for like 2 months, 2 solid months. You know, it was pretty funny because I had a shorter shift on Wednesdays too, right? And I would go to class on Tuesday, and then I would drink martinis with my friend. We called it Teeny Tuesday. And then Wednesday I would go to work, and I would do the homework after work until like midnight, 1 in the morning that I was assigned on Tuesday to turn in on Thursday. And it was hard. Like, it was brutal, man. Right? Same thing with like trying to build a business on the side. You know, a lot of indie hackers try to do a 9 to 5, and they're like, yeah, like new 9 to 5 if I got this side project. But it's just hard. It's hard because of the time constraints, and like, you know, when you're under a lot of pressure like that, there's no room to grow. There's no room to make mistakes because you don't have the time, right? Everything needs to work out because you need the momentum, right? Everything needs to work out because you need the momentum. If the momentum stops, your side project dies. And you don't have you don't have the time to learn or make mistakes, right? That's the one thing I learned like right away from freelancing is I had all this money, I had all this time. I repeatedly tried to build businesses, you know, just like back against the wall, and it didn't work. But I also tried to build like on the side, and that just never works because you don't have the energy, right? Anyways, yeah, tangent. But like, yeah, like I said, working and going to school is like freaking brutal. How did you get the job when you were a student? Well, my friends worked there and I applied for it. But yeah, it's just brutal. Like I always say to people, you need to give yourself this space, like the breathing room financially and mentally to make mistakes, because you will make mistakes, right? And sure, you might have like the financial breathing room to make mistakes with a full-time job, but after like being in software dev meetings all day, I doubt that you will sit there and craft a sales email. I doubt that you will sit there and write 50 sales emails to reach out and try and get your first customer for your side project. I really doubt that. You will probably sit down, and more likely now, you'll probably just ask Clanker to do it, but you'll sit down and you'll do an extra hour or two of work, the work that you're comfortable doing because you know you can make progress on that. And that's if you have the energy, right? A full-time job, like when I was doing a full-time job and working on side projects, I would have to do my side projects in the morning. I would get up at like 5 in the morning and work on my side projects for a few hours before work because I knew I'd be drained. And that was still brutal. That was still freaking brutal because I was working like 11 hours a day, right? And I'm like just exhausted. Kind of like right now. Actually, I work part-time as a content creator. I work part-time as a freelancer. I'm tired, but I can take the time off, right? I can take time off. I can finish this contract. I can take time off and like relax and recover. Like you have to ask for permission to do like basic stuff when you're full-time employed. You want time off, you have to ask for that time off. You have to book. I can't just be like finished a contract. All right, I'm taking some time off. I'm out. Sorry, that was quite a ramble. But yeah, it's just brutal. It's just brutal to go to school full time. I did it before. What are the side projects? What side projects? I mean, I guess technically content is my side project now, right? One good bug bounty. That era of brutal work and hustle will get you here. Now you can easily do stuff that people cannot figure out. That's true. I agree with that in part, but it's only because it took a lot. Man, it took so much work. Oh my god, it took so much work. It still takes so much work. A few months ago, before I went to Europe in April, I sold this brand deal because I was like, this is the only way I can see myself doing content in the near future, like accelerating my content creation. Stop and do nothing. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. No upward mobility in call centers. Oh yeah, call center work is brutal. I did billing for a cell phone company here in Canada. I was like a verbal punching bag for 40, I think like 35 hours of the week, something like that. And then like I would go to school. But even being a full-time software developer, I just don't think I could go to school again. In fact, I finally like when I first got my first dev job, I felt like I had finally the fruit of all my like schooling labor finally paid off. So I just like the first like couple of years of being a full-time employee, I just enjoyed myself. I went out, I ate out a lot. I just did all the stuff. I bought all the stuff that I could never afford in my life in my youth. I bought whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. I did not care because like I have been like basically working since I was like 16, 15 actually. No, 13 cuz I was paid under the table for a job in cash. So I was like literally working since I was 13 and finally I made it. I had the cushy middle class job, highly skilled technical person making like a lot of money. A lot of money for that. For being 23 years old, I would made crazy money. Like all my colleagues, even the younger colleagues I had, they all had houses. Some of them had families, right? It was my first real adult job. So, screw going back to school. I wanted to live. I wanted to live a little. So I would go to bars. I think I went to lunch every weekend. Like I literally every like I think it was like every Saturday at lunch I would go to the Japanese place and eat a bowl of ramen. Like literally like insane stuff. But yeah, so I lived a little for sure. Back when house prices or houses were reasonable. Yeah, I mean this was in New Brunswick too, so it was not like the housing situation was always very reasonable there. I worked my side job during my full time. Man, that must be rough. Yeah. I think I'm on the cusp of something great with content, but I'm kind of scared, man. I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. Things are different now. And, you know, I don't want to be a glorified, like, Claude Code babysitter. I just, like, if that works for, if people are like, down to be the human in the loop, that's fine. I can't do that. That's not what I became a developer to do, so. Is Twitch your biggest platform? It was, but actually now it's Instagram. It's crazy. And like in 3 months, my Instagram has way more followers and way more views than the Twitch channel that generates the content for my Instagram account. I literally just hit 13,000 followers on Instagram. My Clips Instagram, which I started 3 months ago. Because I was like, oh, I should probably have a Clips Instagram. That seems like a good idea. Biggest channel. 1,000,000 views a month. Like, what? Like, how's monetization? I don't know. I don't know how monetization is. I don't know anything about Instagram. I just started the channel. So, but people are finding me. They're finding me on TikTok. They're finding me on Instagram. And that's cool. So, yeah. My editor actually was like, I have 90 posts on my Instagram and we got to 13,000 followers. My editor was like, you should seriously consider Instagram partnerships because you're killing it. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I will. Instantgram. Well, I think it was supposed to be like instant telegram kind of thing. Cuz like Instagram originally was a location check-in service, right? Is software development worth pursuing? I don't know, maybe. I just don't know anymore, honestly. Because I'm not even sure that I want to be a software developer anymore. I like programming and I like building stuff, but yeah, the job is kind of like soured on me. You need to transfer your audience and make them sub or buy something. Yeah, and you're not wrong, Conrad Commander. But the thing, I don't want to like rush into that. My like, I guess MO is just grow and tap that audience when I need it. I guess. Actually, during this ad break on Twitch, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Guys. Behave yourselves. Oh. Bourbon sharing app. I'm pretty sure it was a location check-in service. Oh, I'm developing a headache for some reason. Too much yapping. Too much like flapping my gums. Most days I prefer to keep coding as a hobby and find something else to do as a job. Too bad game translator jobs were nuked by AI. Yeah, that's rough. Mm. There's always ways to find better paid jobs or succeed, but no one tells you how to do it. But somehow we can't decide to do it. People still get paid for dev with COBOL. Yeah, everybody like keeps telling me that like none of this is gonna matter anymore, but like the market is spoken pretty clearly, and COBOL even still exists, right? What else do I want in life? Oh, that's a big question. There's some things I can't really talk about unless I had a Sunset audience. But yeah. It's hard to say. Oh, I forgot to say thanks Silver Dracker for the Prime. We love primes. I like primes. Dehydration. I know I had a couple glasses of water. Sunglasses on. You think I should put my sunglasses on? Or are you talking about sunset? No sardine shirt today. No, I mean the sardine shirt is clean. I don't want to wear it every day. I bought it to be like a pajama shirt, not like a thing to wear often. Well, like, it's funny that people mention COBOL because that kind of like demonstrates the staying power of like software architecture, right? Was it made in Sardinia? It's just a sparkling t-shirt. That's good. Water's the problem. 2 large iced lattes in, I feel great. Oh, I bet you do feel great with all that espresso. Oh. Sometimes I like just chatting. Can be cozy. Actually, I was thinking about reorienting my room. Because I don't know if you know this, but like the camera facing like this corridor and wall, it's kind of claustrophobic. I kind of like the idea of like the camera facing like into my apartment where there's like a bit of more open space, right? That has a much more cozy feel. Like facing a wall like this kind of feels a little claustrophobic. Do I play any video games? Occasionally I play hardcore classic World of Warcraft. I was playing Final Fantasy 14 and I kind of want to play some more. I just haven't really brought myself to do it. I'll probably play Classic Plus if that ever comes out. I do play video games. I haven't played a lot lately though. I was playing there was a game I was playing called like Babishka Glitch Dungeon or something like that. Grandma Glitch Dungeon. Very cute, very fun. Yeah. How's that game going you were making? I mean, it's going. The process is slow, for sure. I think I'm starting to run out of some steam with it though. Like I need to make some like progress on it. But also I just don't really feel like coding right now. There's no game engine. It's just C in Raylib. So technically it's my own engine, I guess, if you want to say that. Any of your remote jobs got any game development? No. No, I've never been hired to do game development of any kind, unfortunately. I really wish, because like I like making games and even web games, right? What does it mean by no code today? Well, usually I write software. I usually code on stream in the software and game dev category. But today I do not feel like coding, so we're just having a cheeky, brand safe-ish chat. Do that, change the background. I'm in the zone with coding right now. Amazing. Love that. Yeah, I was thinking it might be nice to point. I don't know, maybe I'll just rearrange this. You know what I thought about doing? Maybe we have a fit check. I'm just wearing a cami with sweatpants. I mean, I'm not really... There's no real fit here. Literally just... I'm not even wearing socks. Like, this is like peak streamer outfit. I hate wearing socks, actually. Literally, as soon as I'm inside, socks come off. If it's socially appropriate for me to do so. So on the weekends, it's really funny because on the weekends when I go to Kai's, my socks are just like all over the place in her place. She keeps finding my socks in her house. Hi, what's the topic? Hey, Wormsoft, there is no topic. The topic is whatever comes to my mind and whatever compels my gums to do the thing, the noise, the communicating noise. What's more fun, the engine part or the actual game running on it? Well, this is my thing. Okay. I started making games because I want to start finishing the projects that I make. So before I made like a kind of a simple platformer, and now I'm making the game. I would say the engine part is less fun. In the past, the engine part used to be the most fun part, but now I really want to like make an actual game with mechanics. What type of startups you like? I don't know. None really. Most startups I think, are kind of dumb. Nice hat. Oh, you mean the Blue Jays one? Life was good without AI. Here we go. You know what? We make geeks. Should stick around. Hit the subscribe button, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Like, sometimes the engineering of this stuff is fun. I've changed directions with the isometric game because I'm making a game with 2D isometric projection. It's definitely one of the more challenging projects I've had to do. And like my like component system was like polymorphic before, but now I'm moving to more of like a data-driven kind of ECS thing. And that has kind of worked out, but it's also been like really challenging to wrap my head around sometimes. So same with the isometric things, because I have to try and think about things in the world coordinates, and the world coordinates are like very different from the screen coordinates. Today I got a lot of pushback on my weekend programming projects, like what's the practical use of that? Why people ask such questions? Well, I'm assuming you were talking with other developers, right, Wormsoft? The problem, like, this is another big problem with the developer culture, especially lately. Developer culture, I mean, it's always been kind of like this, but like, it's become incredibly utilitarian lately. Like, incredibly utilitarian. What do I think about Karl Marx? Oh, here we go. Okay, so when I was in school, I was pursuing a minor in sociology. So I've actually read a lot of Marx's work, and Friedrich Engels. I will tell you, if you are like in a bad like working situation, that is like some of the most depressing crap you can ever read in your entire life. So that's what I think about Marx. I think Marx had some interesting ideas about like power and how power is derived from, because I studied like the sociology of power in school, right? So there's some like interesting thoughts about how power is derived from like material resources, but like there's a lot of stuff like, you know, labor theory of value, like alien, like worker alienation, just all this stuff, especially a lot of stuff that was like covered in like Capital with a K, uh, Das Capital. Like it's that stuff is, it's so depressing, man. It's so depressing. Like that's it. That's what I think of Marx. Yeah, programmers. Like I do it to learn or because it's interesting. What does practical actually means? Like make money? Yeah, like who knows, right? You can't. It's like when, when I do write code manually because I like programming, right? It's just like it's seen by some people as being valueless, and therefore they can't, like, extrinsically, there's no extrinsic value, right? So they can't imagine that there might be intrinsic value. I think a lot of these people are kind of dead inside, actually. like what, you've never done something just because you enjoyed doing it? Like that's weird, right? That's like psychopathy weird, right? Not to disparage anybody in the chat, but like if you can't understand why somebody might do something for like simply for the enjoyment of it, like you need a hobby, right? Utilitarian, good word. Yeah. But like it's kind of like this extreme version of utilitarianism where everything must have extrinsic value and nothing can have intrinsic value. And it's very, very frustrating. Conversation like they tried to flatten my brain or something. Yeah, I understand that. I understand. All I heard is that he criticized capitalism without providing an alternative solution. Actually, he did provide an alternative solution. It was called communism. It was kind of like his whole thing, actually. like, like seriously. I mean, the first work he produced was about this. So, I mean, people died for communism. People like had revolutions and all this stuff. I mean, it was a pretty serious idea for a long time. Pretty serious alternative for a long time. Oh gosh, that's so funny. I do programming like other people do woodworking. Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat, Wormsoft. I think we're in the same boat, actually. Yeah, I've used this IKEA analogy before as well. Like, yes, you can go to the store and buy IKEA, or you can have fun doing some woodworking. Canada's cold most of the year. That's not true. It's like 30 degrees outside right now. Feels like 28. Do I also work with LeetCode? No. I was thinking about trying to do some of that stuff for like content, but like I am just like, I just don't think that it's super interesting content. So all we can do is feel sorry for the non-hobbyist. Been smoking the past few years. Oh yeah, the past few summers we've had some pretty bad forest fires. We only really had like a couple days of forest fires this year though. Actually, I was so convinced that we would have more forest fires. I actually bought a second air purifier. It's right there in the box. I bought it like a month ago. Cause like, yeah, I mean we might still get forest fires into the fall, but we need like a bad heat wave, right? Like there was like before the fire, and I called this. There's probably a VOD of me somewhere saying this, but it was like 35 degrees outside, heat wave. I was like, next week there's gonna be forest fires, and there was, and they were bad. Oh my god, we didn't get a lot this year with the smoke, but the ones that we did, one day the smoke was straight up hazardous. Like it smelled smoky in my apartment, even with an air purifier running on full blast. Like I could see haze in the hallways of my building. Like crazy. Crazy, crazy. A building has hallways. Leaked. Someone turned on a blue light filter outside. Yeah. Yeah, the like light distortion. I have to put on a smoke mask and go everywhere. Oh, thanks, Syntax. Canadian smoke here in Michigan. Yeah. My best, the only like solution I can offer is to get an air purifier and don't leave the house without like a smoke mask on. N95. No, I'm not in California. I live in Toronto, Canada. Actually, I was thinking about this last night. I'm like, it kind of sucks that I live here. Like, if I want to be a content creator, like, there's basically two content creation hubs in the world: Los Angeles and Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas for like streamers, especially, but like, and then like Los Angeles for like any other type of content. And maybe New York if you're like an Instagram girly, but like that's it. Those are the content creation hubs. I don't know anybody that makes content. I don't know any other streamers. I don't know anybody that makes content. I feel like I'm just like a solo like island here in Toronto. Help to be in a hub for collabs. Yeah, collabs, like networking, right? Because at the end of the day, this is like a business, right? I think some of the communist ideas are anti-discarding people. Yeah, to like, even to like, maybe like the detriment of society, actually. I mean, I don't, like, I'm not trying to sound like, yeah, we should discard people, but like, I think there were like a lot of manually done jobs in the Soviet Union, for example, that actually probably should have been like used, I guess, for lack of a better word, capital assets, like machinery and stuff, right? So, remember someone said do a Janet Con? There's actually enough viewers here in Toronto that I could probably do a meetup. Same as Lana. Oh yeah, Lana lives here. I always forget that. Lana lives here. I should hang out with Lana. Yeah, what the heck? I should like hit her up. I'm like, hey, what's up, girl? Want to hang out? I literally saw Lana one night at a bar in the village. Like, I always forget that she lives here. But maybe that's just software dev. Like, we're just kind of like off in our own worlds doing stuff, you know? Like I met up with ending with Allie. once because she was in Toronto. So I was like, yeah, let's meet up. Like, let's go have a couple drinks and hang out. And that was really cool. Meeting Allie in person was amazing and eye opening. And she's been a content creator for a long time. So it was like really cool to like talk to her about stuff. There are a bunch of streamers in TO. Okay. Whom streamers in Toronto? Let's find out. Streamers in Toronto. AI summary, let's go. TO music streamer. Okay, Shroud. FPS player, I don't know who this is. Johnny Strides, I know who that guy is. I don't know him personally, but I watch some of his content. He's more of a YouTube streamer though, not Twitch. Okay, there's Shroud. That's cool, I guess. Farhad. Farhad X-Ray. Okay. Lana is like a TV show, not a streamer? What do you mean by that? Northern Lion apparently lives in Toronto. According to this Google AI summary, if you believe that stuff. Yeah, I know that Johnny Strides. I actually watch his content often. Yes, we were just talking about Lana Lux. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe we're just like in this like weird content bubble. Weird content like bubble or niche. Where people can do like other people can do like variety and stuff, but for us like developers, we're just kind of like nerds. We're just like nerds and we don't really uh consort with anybody else, I guess. Does anyone have some fantasy with some crisis like zombie apocalypse? We have to create computers with basic parts. I think a lot of people do. Jenny, you would be considered a walking streams or a Blue Jays streamer. We can't really stream Blue Jays games, unfortunately. They don't let they don't allow that. Hmm. The Lana show because she streams like 8 hours a day every day. See, I would like to do that actually. I would like to stream all day. I don't know if I could go all day. Usually I get tired around 6 hours, but like I would like to stream more. Also talking about the Blue Jays makes me want to have a hot dog from the Rogers Center. I'm going to a Blue Jays game here in like a week and a half. The end of the month, I'm going to a Blue Jays game with my friend. Host and judge a hackathon? I've thought about doing this before. Do I say about? Streaming seems too brutal for someone that's heavily introverted. I don't know if I'm an extrovert because I was always just kind of like quiet. Even like in large groups, I'm more like a quiet person. But I've just kind of like learned how to push myself out of my comfort zone quite a lot. So, but I always feel tired after streaming, especially if I've been streaming for like 6, 7, or 8 hours. Have I spoken at a closure event before? Yeah. So I gave a talk at Conch 2023. And I've also given like talks at meetups. I gave a talk at a closure meetup once. I actually gave like 2 talks at that meetup. One was kind of like informal because I was explaining the difference between atoms, agents, refs, and vars. And then I was also like, I also gave a talk like Funk Prague, Sweden. But yeah, I've given talks before. You can find some of those talks actually on my YouTube. I made a playlist. If you're curious to see the conch talk at least. That conch talk got me so many job offers. It was crazy. Well, kind of job offers. They were like, it was a great way to like meet people for job opportunities. And that was like early in the like 2023 starvation year. Well, they all wanted like full-time employees and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, you know what's weird, Rofit, is people on Instagram think I'm just talking to like nobody. Like they've never heard of Twitch before. They're like, "Oh, you're so stupid. Like, who are you talking to right now? Just a mirror?" I'm like, "Have you ever heard of Twitch before? Have you ever heard of like live streaming? Like actual like crazy stuff." Yeah. Yeah, it's all in my head. I am just like yapping. Mm, I'm starting to get hungry. It's almost luncheon time. I was very impressed by your public speaking. Oh, thanks, Jordan. We could all be bots. That's true. Could be. Hi, Random. Jeez, Random. It's been a while since I've seen you. You like the blonde hair? I'm pretty sure I haven't seen you since I got blonde hair. Is the chat in the room with us right now? Disappeared to the void. He's still working for that AI company, making that AI money. Happy Wednesday to all who celebrate. I celebrate. Yes, I hate it. Oh. Do you ever go to college for computer science? Yes. think I spent an hour today talking about how I went to school for like 6 years and dropped out of computer science. Hi, Judy. Oh, the OGs are in chat now. OGs. We have Judy, random. Looking for another job, please hire me, Janet. I have no work for you. Actually, you can pay me. Because I'm streamer. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have something awesome for lunch because I'm craving a hot dog drenched in ketchup. And I don't eat cured meat. So still working on things. Oh. Whopper Wednesday. Get a lobster roll. I want to get a lobster roll, but I don't want to go to a lobster place. It's too far away. I graduated CS in 4 years. Congrats, dog. I was not a good student, and I also dropped out a couple times, so I think you should be on Sitcom. Sorry to bring up the Blue Jays. Yeah, I don't eat cured meat, but when we went to the Blue Jays game at the end of June, start of July, I had a hot dog because I was like, all right, I'll have one. And it was so good. I haven't had a hot dog in years. It was like way too good. Of course, I had like I was down to like Mike's Harder lemonades on like a empty stomach, so I was pretty buzzed. I'm like, ooh, hot dog, bad decision. You remember watching Hassan? Oh, yeah, see, that's a like Marxist like stuff that'll make you miserable. What do you put on your hot dog, bro? Ketchup. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those heathens. Low level? Nah. I basically just make like web stuff, but with Clojure. Mayo on a hot dog. I bet that would be good, actually. You like the blonde hair, random? Oh, by the way, there's a new tip jar. In case anybody cares. It's on Ko-Fi. Since SE Pay is shutting down. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna eat for lunch. I could make sandwiches, I guess. Wow, that hello tangent, that sounds like heartburn from hell. Although maybe not because of the cream cheese. But you know I don't eat dairy, so I'd have to do it without the cream cheese. Here 5 minutes mentioning me tipping twice already. Alright, I won't bring it up again. So good when you're drunky. Honestly, fair. They do have hot dogs at some Canadian places. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a restaurant near me where I can get a hot dog. I don't want to have a hot dog though. Do I still have a GF? Yes. I do. I don't know what to have for lunch. Luncheon. Do I think AI can replace developers? I don't know. No idea anymore. Showing the guns? There's no guns here. Look at that. There's nothing. Congrats, I'm still uber unhealthy. Speed running life. Live fast and die young. Is that brand unsafe? I need to be brand safe now. Safe. Wait, you're not anti-AI now? I was never like really anti-AI. I'm just critical of it and I personally don't like using it. AI Moto for everyday use. Like I said, I don't really like using it, so I I've said this many times. I'm like, I don't. It's like 3 new chatters immediately. Why not? Oh, I don't want to talk about it anymore, guys. This is like such a this is a topic that's like been beaten to death. It's so much fun though. I barely have to code anymore, and that's the problem. Look what we've done to the industry. Yeah, just like a big super clip or something. Hmm. You gave up coding good? No, I did not. Quite the opposite. What is going on? The YouTube chat right now. That's kind of cool. YouTube gives you average view duration. Stoic, like Sarah Connor. Yo, Crocodile, I've seen you in my comments before. Watch it, or you're gonna catch a ban. What's going on? I feel like now Twitch chat is being weird. I'm getting like promoted in some weird just chatting carousel. Have I ever tried using Claude Fable 5 for making a good idea you have comes true? No. We literally had a whole discussion today about how excessively utilitarian developers are. And this is literally the like one of the core issues with using AI. Like I said, it's like it's not compelling content. And I just don't want to. I like writing code. I don't know why this is such a big problem for some people. Opinions on femboys? Oh, you know my opinions, random. God. Why am I so cute? I don't know. Am I really cute? Do you guys really think I'm cute? Your voice always changes when you talk to me? That's not true. I don't think so. You can't prove it. Any progress on the sprite rotation? Well, it's not technically sprite rotation. We are animating something. No, I decided to take a break from coding today. Why do you keep asking about Viktor Orban? Who hasn't heard about this guy? These people dominate the news, and honestly, frankly, I'm just effing, freaking sick of hearing about them. From Kyrgyzstan with love. Yo. That's crazy. Kyrgyzstan, that's tough. I've seen YouTube videos with Kyrgyzstan. Love your vibe, your energy, your vibe. Really? Some people say I'm cranky and like kind of mad. If you could be a programming language, which would you be? That's a wild question. That is a wild question. A gaming stream? The problem is whenever I play games, people don't watch, so. Mean Girl coded? Seriously? Random, stop trying to make fetch happen. I love cranky mad vibe. I don't want to be cranky. I want to be happy and bubbly and sexy. Was that brand unsafe? Bonk. Oh, chat room. Oh, chat room. But if you're bubbly, the fizz will come out of your nose. I love drinking bubbly, actually. It's a good beverage. I was a carbonated water drinker for like before it was cool. Okay? And I wanted for a long time, I really wanted fast food places to let me just drink carbonated water from like the fountain. And then like it finally happened not too long ago. You can go to like a Subway and the fountain pop dispenser, you can choose bubbly water, which is awesome. Is everybody expecting to be faster? Yeah, it's rough. You know what might make you feel better? For Funia? You could support your favorite Twitch streamer. Monetarily, of course. Love animes? Yeah, I haven't watched many animes in a while. My favorite's still like Ghost in the Shell 1995. I tried to watch the new Ghost in the Shell on Amazon Prime, but I just couldn't get into it because they just totally character assassinated the Major. Like, the Major is like a cyber warfare expert and stone cold killer. And they made her like this girly kind of weird character, like a total character assassination, right? I've been a fan of Ghost in the Shell for a long time. And every anime, she's like stone killed, like, you know, cyber intrusion expert, all that stuff, informatics, like. But in this one, she's like, it's weird because the art style is very similar to the original manga, which I also own. But the character, I just felt like it was like a major character assassination of the Major. Like I couldn't even get through the first episode. I was like, this is horrible. Like, this is not the Major. Plus, they just like ripped off the plot lines from like a bunch of different Ghost in the Shell works and put them into like a single pilot episode. I'm like there's no, like, they like either went to ChatGPT and were like, write me a new Ghost in the Shell like pilot episode, or like they just like blatantly lifted it from, like, it's the alien Romulus problem, right? Alien Romulus is like it was a decent movie, but one of the chief like criticisms of it was like the writing was basically like, ChatGPT, write me the script for a new Alien movie, right? And it just borrows like themes and ideas and storylines from previous things, right? So I was like, this is terrible. This is terrible. Yeah, I was pretty upset. Do I Harry Potter or Avatar: The Last Airbender? Definitely not Harry Potter. I have watched Evangelion. Evangelion Neon Genesis Evangelion is like, that's a crazy show. I watched like all of it on Netflix once. And every time there was a new episode, I would always listen to the starting theme song every time. Favorite music genre? Probably like, I listen to a lot of electronic music, but I also listen to like a lot of like alternative music. I love like anything that's like house, dance, EDM. I like industrial music. I love industrial. I like some metal. I like prog rock. I like punk. I like kind of like alternative grunge punk type stuff, alternative rock. I like a lot of pop music too, right? I grew up like, I was very into Britney Spears when I was like 7 years old. So I really liked Britney Spears. Like, so I'm just all over the place, really. I even like some rap. I listen to like 6ix9ine sometimes. So I'm just all over the place when it comes to music. But I would say like top genre, probably electronic music. Not married an ET girl yet. I feel bad for you, son. But you can support this ET girl right here. Hello, Munglo. Give you a shout out. Why not? Shouty. Yeah, no, not dubstep, actually. I'm not a fan of the dubstep. Hey, welcome, Raiders. Also, hey, Jay, what's up? I only like one Britney Spears song. Okay, 11 songs. Reggae. I remember in high school we used to listen to a ska band. That was I never really liked ska, but from Rose. Rose. What's your current goal in the field of programming? What do you intend to achieve? Hello, uh, Emerson Arson? My goal in programming is I have no goal anymore. Maybe stream programming to the internet for funds. For fun and profit. I don't know. Oh, thanks iHusky. Nice. Party of one. Toxic was a fire Britney Spears song? Yeah. I actually like the Britney Spears stuff from the 90s, so like her debut album. And that's still good music today, actually. TBH. TBH fam. It's still terrific music, okay? It's Britney. I can't even say the last word. It's Britney B. Britney brand safe. It's Britney brand safe. What's the album? One More Time, yeah. Baby One More Time. Obviously, Baby One More Time is awesome. You Drive Me Crazy. Just kind of a fire album overall. I like Bubblegum Pop. Actually, I like Bubblegum Pop a lot. If I've consumed enough alcohol, by the end of the night, I will be listening to Bubblegum Pop. Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, like all that crap. All right. I will allow for right now, this small moment in time, I will allow people to gift subs and I will allow donations. But only right now. Go. Hurry. Not any other time. Just this time. Do I intend to create commercial games? Maybe. It would be nice to create a commercial game, but it's pretty hard to ship anything. It was forbidden before. Sort of. No, it wasn't really. It wasn't forbidden. But I made it forbidden moments ago, and now it's unforbidden. So now you can. I don't know how to do call outs. Hey, Cyprian. I don't know how to do call outs from call to action, yo, subscribe if you like the channel, or donate, or no, I don't actually, random. This is my problem. I don't. So I don't know. Yeah. Somebody said they watch me every day. Like, hey, give money, please. Yeah. Well, what else am I supposed to do? Maybe I could sell you guys some HelloFresh stuff. Even though I went in depth about why I would never take a HelloFresh sponsorship. And I personally cannot actually eat HelloFresh because they don't make Janet-friendly meals in their meal kits. But that's okay. Because it doesn't matter, because I will be the product shill that I know I can be. You don't stream often enough for every day? Ouch. Man, that hurts. I have been trying. It's just lately, I've got a contract looming. So, contract deadline looming. That's why I've been yeah, August has been kind of a crappy month for streams. I'll admit that. I'm sorry. I want to stream more, but I've just got a lot going on. So, yeah. All right. I understand. It's fine. Just saying we got shit going on. Damn, I said the word. That's the 5th time I swore. Okay, only five times in 3 hours. It's pretty good. I don't know. My new brand partner wants to be brand safe. Safe, super safe. So All right, I'm gonna raid out, and nobody wants to buy. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Where are we going? Where are we going? Chat room. Subtitles would be easier to understand that way. Do I sound like I'm talking like a sailor or something? Emerson, are you from the East Coast? Do we know each other? Judy. Judy with the 16 gift subs right before I raid out. Thank you so much. Judy the goat. Huge. Oh my god, we got a raid. 51. Kiri. Sneak raid. I was about to raid out, but then we got raided, yo. Sneak raid. Again, though, Judy, thank you for the 16 gift subs. Literally keeping this channel, keeping me together, keeping this channel together. I'm from Brazil. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. So, if there was a hype train. Oh, them boys. That's funny because I was just gonna raid out and go get some lunch. I am gonna do that though, so unless somebody wants to buy 16 more gift subs or something. Nora's here. Boy for now. Who should we raid again? One sub. I could do a subathon, yeah. Judy, you're not supposed to give more subs. Everybody else is supposed to buy subs, not you. But thank you. Thank you for the support. It wasn't 16, it was fine. Go get food. Okay, I will. Judy, you get to choose who we raid. Who do you want to raid? Oh god, here we go. Anybody you want, we can go raid them. Up to you. Hello, artist. Synth. Zed's live? No, you choose. I feel like we always raid Zed though. Francais. Someone gave me a sub, I guess. Yeah, my amazing moderator, Judy. So T2, you guys really want to raid T2? All right, let's go. Let's do it. Let's go, go, go. It's happening. In the middle of an ad break. It's all good though. Thank you, Judy, for the subs and for being a terrific moderator. I wish I could stream all day, every day, but, you know, I have to go make that bag for now. Until I can become a pro streamer, streaming my things. What is this raid thing? I probably won't have a hot dog. Maybe I will, I don't know. Could go buy hot dogs and eat them. Basically not here for a month, but sure. Whatever. Oh, hi, Zinka. Oh, gosh, Zinka, we're about to raid out. I'm so sorry. I'll give you a shout out, but we shouted out like... Okay, there we go. Sick. Oh, wait, did that cancel the raid? No. But we're about to raid out. Oh, why did... Wait, what? I can't click raid now anymore? I just screwed myself, didn't I? Thank you. Thank you, Judy, for the gift sub to Zinka. 1,000 gift subs in a channel is huge. Okay, why isn't this raid button working? All right, I'm hitting the raid now button. Oh,